Good morning, Emerald. See that you're on. Can you let me know that you can hear me okay? Excellent. Thank you, Emerald. All right, just gonna wait, see if anyone else wants to join. Yeah, there's two people on. Excellent. Thank you for letting me know the sound's good. Wait just one more minute here, see if anyone else wants to join. Thirty-second lag. All right, let's do just a quick test just so I'm aware of this. So I'm going to say a number, and if you could just type it in like we did last week. So let's do 10. Can you type that in? 21-second delay. So yeah, a little bit worse than last week, unfortunately. But all right, just good to know. About 21-second delay here. All right, well, I think we've given people enough time to join. Two people on. All right, so this is going to be the Forex report plus I'm going to do a look at the 2-year, 10-year yields and let you know what I'm seeing there. So let us start with the US dollar index. So going out to a daily time frame here. So I've been saying 5-way move and I've been looking for a correction, and so far what I see is just it's a WXY correction, because when we zoom in everything's just been 3 waves. So 1 2 3, 1 2 3, and then 1 2 3. So WXY. So it's in a position where the dollar index can go and break that top. But anytime you got this WXY, you always got to be mindful that you could get that X wave up and then the Z wave down. So they could revisit this low one more time. And it's kind of looking sort of corrective to me. So you got like a little 1 2 3 there, and then a 1 2 3 down, and then 1 2 3 up, and now they made this bigger move down. So it's not looking. They could be making an expanding diagonal. So like that's 1, that's 2, 3, and that would have to be 4. So if they break that again, then I think they're coming down. But obviously, if they go back up, then I think this could be the ending diagonal. So we'll have to wait and see. Or actually, I guess it could be a leading diagonal that could be making a bigger correction, because they could be pushing this way up. But I still think that this is all going to come down, because I think this is WXY. I think they're going to make an X and then come down. We'll have to see. WXY, that could be all the correction, and they'll work their all the way up to go break it. But because this is so far just a shallow correction, I'm thinking that this is just going to be an ABC. Come up somewhere, I don't know where, but somewhere up here, and then fall. all the way down. So, but we'll have to see after they break 107.34, then we'll really start paying attention on if this is just a correction for down or if this is the start of something much bigger up. So key level to watch on the dollar, if they break, let me get rid of this. If they break that level, then before they break the top, so they would have to break down here, break 106.25. So if they like come down here Monday, then I think this is all the X wave, and then they're going to come all the way back down here one more time, but then for sure they're going up. I mean, yeah, I think either way they're going up to break the top. It's just a matter of are they coming from here where they are right now straight up to break it, or they got one more down and then up. So, but I think if they break this 106.25, you'll know that they'll be probably visiting that low one more time before they go up. But I'd only be looking for buy setups to break the top. That's the only thing. All right, euro. So the euro, they did come up one more time. I didn't think that this would be all the correction. So they made just a really quick three-wave correction, and then there. So now the euro is in a position where, and they obviously started coming down. This could be all the correction, and then they're going to continue down. So I think because you got a 1, 2, 3 setup, this ABC, it's either going to be one of two things. Either this is 1, 2, 3, that's just A. Then you'll have a down move, which they did. Correction up, break that low one more time, but they don't need to break that. And then they could still come back up. So that first three, that'll be A, this will be B, and then they'll shoot up for C, but then come down. So, it's just a reverse of the US dollar index. So they could come down one more, break that low, 105.2, break it, but then reverse back up to break that high one more time. That's very possible. But I'd only be looking for sell setups because I do believe that they're going to break 104.4 one more time. So it's just a matter of just like a dollar index. Is it going to fall from where they are right now, or are they going to go back up one more time? And when they made this high on Tuesday, there's no divergence. So it doesn't have to play out that way, but because they're a three-wave move, but there was no divergence, it was just in an overbought state. I think they'll make a three-wave correction, but I do believe that they'll go back up one more time. So that's my base case, but I'd only be looking for sell setups. I wouldn't be playing for the buy. All right, pound. So pound, last week I said they had that five-way move, corrected up, went down, and then they had that big pull up. So this one, to me, you got a three-wave move down to here, and then here's a three-wave move. 1, 2, 3, and then just sold off. Boom. So this one, I believe, to me, this looks like here's the up move, here's the A, that was B, came down, broke that low, C, and then went up. Now it's just a matter of, are they creating a diagonal going down? I think that they're going to go back up. I think you got your A, B, C, and now they're slowly going up. I don't like the way this is going up. That's the only problem, because so far all I see is just 1, 2, 3 waves. Now they could be making a diagonal up, so that 1, 2, 3, that's 1. Here's a three-wave move. 1, 2, 3. Now they could still, you know, go up three, go down one more, and then that's a three-way move, and then they'll reverse. So I'd only be looking for sell setups in the pound. This is tricky to trade right here because we just don't have enough. I mean, all you have is just a three-way move up to there. I think that they're going to go up and break that top. So even though I think that, I wouldn't be looking for the buy setup because it's just too tricky. Because this is straight down. This could be correction, and then they're just going to keep working their way down. So only looking for sell sets, but you know, selling down here, like you're not playing for a whole lot, you know, because once they break that low at any point, you know, if I zoom out, you know, we had that five-way move. That could be all the correction, just that little move up, and then this is going to bring it down in a five-way move. So I wouldn't be selling from here. Like if you're not in the trade, I'd only let them come up one more time, and then I'd be looking for a sell setup here. Otherwise, I'd just let this would have to be a diagonal. So this would be one, that would be two, and then this will be, they'll come down for three, go up for four, down for five, and then I'd be looking for actually the buy setup. So, you know, just this is not a good place to actually do much with the pound. I'd sell up here, or I'd buy once it breaks 1203. All right, CAD. Yeah, so CAD, I really believe this is, they're making a leading diagonal here. So we have this ABC, so I think that's one. ABC here was two. This was three. I thought they were going to come down and break this low right here, this 13569, but they stopped short. So I think this is a contracting flat. That's four, and I don't think this fifth wave is done yet. I think they got to be pushing it up, but basically it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is going to be five. I think they need to go up one more time, and then you'll have your leading diagonal, and then you're going to get a really big correction before they resume up. But I'd only be waiting to sell this one. I mean, the buy, even though I think there's one more up, I don't think there's a whole lot left. The sell, this bigger correction that's about to happen will be the bigger play. So yeah, a little bit more up for CAD, but then I think there's going to be a big correction coming. Okay, and the yen. So the yen, I thought this zone was going to be the key to it, but they went up and they broke that previous high that I've got marked for the fifth wave. So I think what they did is they created a contracting flat here for this fourth wave. So I thought this wave would come down into here, and then we'd see if they were still going to go up. So when I go out to the daily, I mean, this is obviously just getting really impulsive here, but I think this is one, running flat two, that was three, made just a really small four. I thought they'd come down more, but I think that was four. And I think now this move up is the fifth wave, but I don't think it's done then, because if we zoom in again, let me clean this up. If this is all the fifth wave here, it looks to me incomplete. Like that would be one, and that would be two, and then I think this is three, and I think now they're coming down for four, but then they would have to still go up one more time for the fifth wave. Now, if I'm wrong, if this wave breaks, I mean, if this 14932 breaks, then this somehow that was 3, 4. Yeah, this fifth wave just doesn't look right. But I think if 14392 breaks, then this fifth wave is done. And then you're going to get a correction. So as it stands right now, if the top is in, then this correction I think is going to come down into here, but then it's going to resume back up. So it's going to be kind of tricky. And you know, with the yen, you got major. Oop, I'm just looking at your note, Emerald. If they break the top at the pound. Oh, let me go back. I'm sorry. I didn't even look at the chat. Let me finish the yen here, and then I'll go back to the pound and review your question there. But going out to the bigger picture, I mean, because they're just so close to the top. Like I said in my last video, I think they're going to make a running flat here. So after this big move, to this big move up, I think that was just A, and now they're in the B wave, and it's going to be a running flat. So I think this somewhere up here is going to be, you know, the fifth wave. They couldn't even break it, but you're going to have the one, and then they'll come down, then they'll break it, three wave move, and then you're going to get a big sharp move down. Won't necessarily need to break that low, but then this will be all correction, then they're going to go back up. That's going to take a long time, though. That won't happen for a while, but I think that's going to be the overall pattern. So we just need to play this one at a time. So I think the thing is either that needs to break or the top needs to break. So if they break the top, then we're done. If they break this, then I think this fifth wave, excuse me. If they break this, then the five wave is in, and then they'll come down here. What is that? 145.23, you know, 142s, 141, something like that. Come down and then still going back up. So pound is kind of trapped in between these two. And with let me switch this over. For the pound, the big news is oh, why is that not showing up? Oh, wrong one. Yeah, for the pound, big news is coming on Monday. Well, for me anyway, at 10 o'clock is their interest rate decision. So that's going to have obviously huge implications on the pound and the dollar. So if you trade the pound, you got to really be ready, because it's going to spike up big one way or the other depending on what they do. So you're definitely going to get an answer by Tuesday on what's going on here. Is the top in and they're going to be coming all the way down in here somewhere, or they got one more spike up. So, all right, that's the pound. The yen. Let's go back to the pound. Let me switch. Oh, sorry, I was on the wrong screen. All right, so back onto the trading view. All right, and let me pull up. All right. Susanna, oh, good to hear. I hope I'm pronouncing your name. I'm assuming it's Susanna. Good to see you. All right, so going back to Emerald's question, if they break the top on pound, that would mean dollar would go down then, correct? Yeah, so if they do what I think they're going to do, pound goes up and breaks 123, then if we look at the dollar, then that means the dollar is going to come down here. Yeah, then I think that the pound, the dollar will come and break this low, and it'll give you that WXY. This was X, or somewhere will be up here will be X. And then they'll come down for that Z wave. So WXYXZ, and then up. And so then the pound would be, this would be, let me clean this up. then you just have, this would be A, B, and then they'll go up one more time for C, and then they'll be reversing down. So yeah, it'll just be complete opposite. And then your next question, what would be the time frame for the pound to break that high? I would think it's going to happen this week. I think this week is going to be crazy, crazy volatility. I mean, you got the yen with that interest rate decision. You've got on when's the Fed's decision? Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday is the U.S. Fed interest rate decision. So I think with all of that volatility, I think this is going to happen this week. One of two things. I mean, that if we go back to the dollar, one of two things. If I'm right, I think the dollar will crash down here this week. Or if this WXY is all the correction, then obviously this is just going to shoot up and break that 107.34 high. So I would think it's going to happen this week. All right, so hope that answers your question, Emerald. I'm going to move on to the 2-year, 10-year. Oh, let me see your question. From what I saw so far, we could expect the dollar, the Dixie to go down and the other currencies to go up on the short term. This would definitely help us towards a year-end rally. Yeah, if the dollar goes down, for sure, there will be that year-end rally. But I think this move down, so I'm on the dollar index here, I think this move down pretty much can play out this week. I think the year-end rally then, because when the dollar does, if it does come down this week, I think this is going to be pretty swift going up. But once they break here, I could see the dollar then starting to come down. And I think that will coincide with like the NASDAQ and the S&P going up. So, I just think that the volatility next week is going to create, I mean, this literally, it might like flash crash straight down and then go straight up and then start pulling down. Because, I do see, like on the S&P, I think there's one more drop to come, I said. So, if the dollar rises, I mean, that's not going to be too kind. But, you do have to be careful with the correlation between the dollar or, people are always talking about the 2-year and the 10-year. And, if the 2-year is going up, then that's bad for the markets. Because let's just take a quick look here. So here's the 2-year. So take a look here. So here, right there was, let me get this right. This high right here was Thursday, October 19th. Okay. And then from there, it's just been selling off the 2-year. So you would think, oh, well, this big sell-off that started October 19th, that must mean the market was just ripping higher, right? Well, obviously, we all know what happened last week. So if we go, let's go to, it doesn't matter. Here's the S&P. And where's the 19th? Right here. So right here is the 19th. And, from the 19th, all the market did is go down. So, there's not always that one-to-one correlation between either the dollar index or the yields. You can't just strictly say, oh, well, I see the yields are going to go up or down, and then that means the market will do the opposite. No, they can go in tandem sometimes. But, overall, yeah, I mean, 2-year going higher is never going to be really good for the markets. But anyway, so let's go back to what I see on the 2-year. So go out to the daily. So from this low down here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's either the fifth wave is in or there's still one more up. Because I think that what they're doing here is they're making an ending diagonal. And so I think this move to right here, I think that's an impulse. So that's 1, 2, 3 waves. So that's 1. And they came down in 3 waves. That's 2. I think that's 3. And I think that's 4. But I think this looked to me like an impulse here. So I think this is 1, 2, and then they got one more to go back up. Now, if they break this low, 4923, then I'm wrong, and then this fifth wave is in, and now the 2-year is going to be having a big correction going on. So we'll have to see there, but I think there's still one more to go on the 2-year. But either way, even if they do that, I think then this whole thing is going to be just a leading diagonal, and then you're going to get a correction and up. So I don't think the 2-year is done. That's what I'm trying to say here. I think it's either this is 5 waves, and I would expect them to have a big pullback down to here to like 4.7, and then one more up, or they got to go one more up right now, complete this leading diagonal, and then have a big pullback, but still go up one more time. So I still see more up on the 2-year. Now, when we look at the 10-year, this to me looks like they already had their leading diagonal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then they came down right into this zone and then went back up. Now, the only question for me is the 10-year done? Because it looks to me like this is a leading diagonal. This is a running flat. So this is 1, 2, this is 3, 4, and then when I really zoom in, it looks like there's already 5 waves. Oops, there's already 5 waves here. I mean, it's pretty easy to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So to me, the 10-year looks in. It's got its 5 waves. It's 5 wave, but this is all just in a 3-wave move, right? So 5 waves up, correction down, and then 5 waves up, which means I'm expecting like the 10-year to actually give a pretty decent sized pullback. Now I'll know if this is done if they break below 4532 on the 10-year, because then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they break that. Now I guess actually maybe this is all just the first wave of the 5th wave. I don't, and then they'll correct and go up again. I don't know. Well, I guess you can't totally say that. I guess actually the real invalidation point is actually down here. But to know that this 5-wave move is done, they have to break that low. So what I'm trying to say here is I think the 10-year could be in a position where they're going to start making a big pullback, big correction, where I think the 2-year actually is going to at least come to here and go up, or like I said, they might go up right now and then come back down and go up, but there's still more up in the 2-year. And if that happens, then you get that, and I'm not an expert at all when it comes to the 210 spread difference, but they always talk about the re-steepening of the curve. And so when you get the 2-year going up, either faster than the 10-year or, just, going up and the 10 years going down, and it's when you get that re-steepening. And that's when you get the markets going crazy. So I find this just very interesting because it definitely looks like the 10-year is well, it's in a position that it could be done. I've got, like 5 waves, but I guess I don't have the confirmation yet. Once they break 544, then I think this 3-wave move, so 1, 2, and 3, that would be in, and then you're going to be having a big fall in the 10-year. So just something that I noticed, just very interesting. The 10-year is going to start pulling back, but the 2-year still is going to be grinding a little bit higher. It'll be interesting to see just exactly what happens then in the stock market, because then that could be leading to or pointing to signs of a recession coming if the 210 spread starts to get bigger. All right, so I just wanted to point that out. Anybody have any questions or observations they want to talk about? Is Susanna still on? Market to go crazy, you mean rally or tank? Well, if this spread does widen, I think the market will tank. Which, I mean, if we go back, because what I think is going to happen. Let me go back to, let's go to the S&P. Because we got this 5-wave move down, and like I said, I think the S&P has just one more drop to go, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, they're getting near the end for this 5th wave to be. It's either in or one more to go, and then like I said, you're going to get that big correction, but then there's going to be one more drop. Well, that could definitely be coinciding with if this 210 spread really widens, like if the 2-year is going up and the 10-year is starting to pull back, that's going to cause a lot of concern, I think, in the market. And and then if you have this 5-wave move, you're going to need some correction, but you're going to have another drop. So it just kind of lines up, I think, perfectly that if the 2-year is going up and there's a spread difference, you'll have that big drop. You think the recession comes once the yield curve uninverts? Yeah, I mean that's what they always say. Once that thing uninverts, then you're in a position for the recession. So yeah, it'll be interesting. All right, anything else? Anybody? Oh, looks like it's just you now, Emerald. Okay, well then I'm gonna wrap things up here and just say, well, thanks, Emerald, once again for joining me. Actually, I had a couple other viewers. I saw we got up to 4 viewers this time, so maybe one day we'll have enough that we can get Get some good chatter going here. I want that year-end rally. Yeah, I think that, like I said in my last video, I think this correction coming up, that's going to take all of November into December. But you just got to know that this is correction for this down move, and that you'll get at least one more down, and then when they break this, then we're going to have to see, once they break whatever the low is, what happens down here, because if it really sells off, then this could be this. I'm thinking that this could be, this leading diagonal could be A, correct up for B, come down for C. I think they're going to have one more up, but we'll have to see. And then I think they're coming all the way down. But yeah, these two waves, this up wave and this down wave, that needs to be seen, because we need to see the reaction of what happens when they come back down here. Because if it gets really strong, then this could be, they're making an impulse, then it would be 1, 2, and they come way down, then that looks like a 3, go up for a 4, and down for a 5. So we'll have to wait and see. That's going to take a long time to play out. But I think for the rest of the year, I mean, it'll be bumpy, that's for sure. But I think it's going to be a pretty deep correction going up, and then there's going to be that one sell-off. All right, Emerald. Well, I'm going to close up here. Do appreciate you sticking with me here. At least I have someone to talk to. Yeah, good luck to you. It's going to be a crazy week. So, are you still in that oil trade? Oh, looks like you already logged off. All right, well, thanks everyone. Good luck. See you in the next video.